hear the word success constantly, but we rarely stop to ask a more important question. Whose definition are we using? For many professionals, success is something we absorb rather than choose. It shows up as titles, as salary, timelines, visibility, and expectations that signal progress, even when they don't actually reflect what matters to us. Today, we're talking about what it looks like to define success intentionally, not as a reaction to comparison or pressure, but as a deliberate choice.
Most of us don't actually choose our first definition of success. We absorb it. From the time we start our careers, we're shown what success is supposed to look like by the people around us and the culture we work in. Employers, managers, families, industry norms, LinkedIn posts, movies. And most of those definitions are tied to things we can't easily see. Job titles, pay increases, climbing the ladder, saying yes to something because it looks good on paper. There's nothing wrong with any of that. The problem starts when those outcomes become the definition of success instead of just options for what success could look like. Over time, those external messages start to feel like expectations. Especially for women, success can quietly turn into a balancing act, proving value, staying relevant, not falling behind. And that's where comparison creeps in. Career choices don't happen in a vacuum. You're thinking about what your next step is while noticing who's getting promoted, who's making more money, and how others are being perceived. And before long, you catch yourself asking, I've been leading teams for 10 years. Why am I not a VP yet? These questions come from a very human place, but if we're not careful, they start making decisions for us. So before we define success with real intention, we have to look at the definitions we've been responding to by default.
Once you recognize that many ideas about success come from outside influences, the next step is deciding what you want success to support in your own life. Defining success with intention doesn't mean rejecting ambition or achievement. It means being clear about what you're pursuing and why. Stop thinking about success as a single outcome and start breaking it into parts. Ask what you need your work to support right now. Right now. Financial stability, growth, flexibility, leadership, something else entirely. There isn't a universal right answer, and it can change over time. Every form of success comes with trade-offs as well. Time, responsibility, visibility, stress, people management. Being intentional means deciding which trade-offs you're willing to accept instead of inheriting them by default. Titles feel validating, salary increases feel validating, managing bigger teams feels validating, moving up the org chart feels validating. But that reinforcement can make it easy to keep chasing the next step without pausing to ask whether that version of success still fits. Look beyond rewards. Pay attention to what your work actually looks like day by day. How much control do you have over your time? And whether leadership or people management is something you want, or simply something that comes with validation.
Once you know what success is supposed to support for you, the real work starts. Carrying that clarity into your decisions. And that's often when comparison sneaks back in. You start weighing your options while watching what your colleagues, peers, or industry leaders are doing. It's natural to use their steps as reference points. The shift is knowing the difference between comparison that gives you useful context and comparison that's just creating noise. That's where you pause and ask yourself, does this choice actually support what matters to me right now? Am I drawn to it because it aligns with my values and goals, or because it looks like progress from the outside? Every yes has a no attached to it. What am I saying yes to? What am I saying no to in the process? You don't have to optimize everything all at once. Some decisions are right for this stage. They don't have to be permanent. And here's a big one. Separate visibility from value. Not every meaningful move is visible, and not every visible move is meaningful. When you hold on to that, you stop chasing what looks impressive and start making decisions that actually create value for you.
Consider thinking about success as something you don't define once. You can revisit it as your work, responsibilities, and priorities change. When success is defined by titles, salary, org charts, or timelines, the validation can keep you moving forward without checking whether the direction still makes sense and fits with your current needs. Intentional definitions make decisions clearer. Comparison matters less. Progress is easier to recognize. Pause. Evaluate choices. Decide what makes sense for you right now. And here is a question to ponder. If you stopped measuring success by title, salary, or perception, what would you use instead? Thanks so much for your time and attention. Girls Who Print has a robust membership and sponsorship program, and you can get all the information you need at girlswhoprint.org. Until next time, from me and Kelly, empower long and prosper.